Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jai Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Sham, Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Sham. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Nittai Go Haribo, 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 Nittai Go Haribo. Shri Krishna Janmashtami ke, Srila Prabhupada ke, Jai Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dedati Svapadantikam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the 10th canto, beginning on the 3rd chapter, when the Lord appeared, just such a beautiful description. I thought I'd read the description of how things became by the Lord's potency. Thereafter, at the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. We'll start again. Please listen. Thereafter, at the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation Rohini appeared, as did stars like Ashvini. The sun, the moon, and the other stars and planets were very peaceful. All directions appeared extremely pleasing, and the beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky, decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds. The earth seemed all auspicious. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs, full of lilies and lotuses, were extraordinarily beautiful. In the trees and green plants, full of flowers and leaves, pleasing to the eyes, birds like chukus and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of the demigods. A pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the sense of touch and bearing the aroma of flowers. And when the brahmanas engaging in ritualistic ceremonies ignited their fires according to Vedic principles, the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by the breeze. Thus, when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and brahmanas, who had always been disturbed by demons like Kansa and his men, felt peace within the core of their hearts. And kettle drums simultaneously vibrated from the upper planetary system. Everyone's welcoming the Supreme Lord, the demigods, Mother Earth, favorable breezes, the flowers and the sunshine, and everything became aligned perfectly, obviously because the Supreme Lord, out of his kindness, is appearing in this material world. So Krishna, he's Bhoktarang Jagatapasang Sarvaloka Maheshwarang Suhridang Sarabhutanam Gyatmamam Shanti Richtati. He creates everything. Just like in this world, the government also has a prison house. And also in the prison house are citizens, but these are the not law-abiding citizens. These are the persons who are not following the rules and regulations. So in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha Loka, Goloka Vrindavan, there's unlimited living entities, Nitya Siddha devotees, serving as servants, as friends, as parents, Madhurya, and loving as lovers. So Krishna has unlimited pastimes with unlimited living entities. And for us to try to understand the depth of Krishna's creation, the purpose behind it. So he expands himself as Lord Balaram, and Balaram is Krishna himself, but he's Baladev, and also Balabhadra, full of power, full of energy. So the time came, again, Paritranaya Sadhunang Vinashaya Chadushkritam. Although this is happening from universe to universe, repeatedly, and the devotees, when Mother Bhumi was feeling that there was the kings were not properly guiding the citizens and they were abusing their powers, So they went to Mother Bhumi in the form of a cow, went to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva and all the demigods, they went to Shweta Dweep, the milk ocean, where Kshirodakshay Vishnu resides. So we're understanding Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakshay Vishnu, then Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Not only do all the incarnations come from Kshirodakshay Vishnu, but he's in the heart of every living being. Sarvasya chahang hridi sana vishto matat smritir jnanam apohanam cha. And from Krishna comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. But Krishna doesn't interfere with the independence. In my mind, I'm thinking, why doesn't Krishna just show up and kill all the demons and make all the devotees happy, That could be a nice thing, why not? Just, you see, like a hypnotist, he can hypnotize. But Krishna, he performs many superhuman transcendental activities simultaneously in allowing the independence of each individual, which he loves. Krishna, it's not that, there are so many sons and daughters that he's lost count, he lost track. Krishna has that unlimited potency to dance with every single gopi in the rasa dance, and every gopi is thinking, he's with me, he's paying attention, which men don't usually do. But, Krishna, he pays attention to the mood and the loving exchange of the gopis and the cowherd boys and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. So that it was becoming difficult. And of course, Kamsa, Jai and Vijay, the whole Bhagavatam is full of mystery and stories and history. And all of that because we've misused our independence out of envy, lusty, jealousy. We don't know how can a pure soul have these colored, inferior qualities. How is that possible? It's forgetfulness, this spirit of enjoyment. Just like the criminal, they think I'm above the law. I don't have to follow rules and regulations. I don't care for the government. But then when they're captured by the government agents, the Yamadutas or the policemen, and put in jail, or the hellish planets, or even the heavenly planets, or the middle planets, every living being, whether you're a god, a man, a beast, a plant, everything has life. That Jivatma is eternally existing, and the body does not have a separate existence. It's not like the body can exist like zombies with no soul, that the mechanism of when a child is born dead, it does not grow, it fades, it withers. Everybody is born, they grow, they produce byproducts, they dwindle, wither away, and die. Just like a fruit that may fall down, you see, it becomes rotten. So everything in this material world is like that. It's a reflection of the spiritual world. There's hopes of happiness. Everyone is looking for that happiness without distress. So Krishna was preaching that karma mamangsa philosophy to Nanda Maharaj when they were all ready to serve or to worship Indradev for providing the rains and providing all the necessities. Krishna was saying, no need to worship the gods. You work honestly, you work hard, and by your hard work, destiny will give you your results. So everyone in this world is thinking, scientists, philosophers, education, those politicians and people who are thinking to make a better life. You work hard, make money, and you'll be happy. But since time immemorial, no one solved the problem. Birth, old age, disease, and death, and no interest in spiritual life. So that happens. People are distracted by the intense desire to enjoy in this material world, and they make all kinds of arrangements thinking that this partner is the right partner, and this family situation is good, or this country is good, that country is bad. This situation, it's like punak punas charvita charvit nanam. We're chewing the chewed again and again and again. And so Krishna again and again appears not only in this universe, but in every universe, and performing various pastimes, and various incarnations of the Lord are there. For what purpose? For the purpose of recalling us and attracting us It's like, why does Lord Chaitanya sing Jeev Jago, Gauda Chandra Bole? He's saying, wake up, sleeping souls. How long you'll sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? So that Maya is the contaminated mind, the servant of the senses, and the servant of lusty desires to try to enjoy this world separate from Krishna. So Kamsa got a word. He said he's driving the chariot of Vasudeva and Devaki. They say Devaki is sister, but she's really a cousin because Devaka was her father and he was brother, I guess, of Ugrasen. So they were sister cousin. But in India, when say my brother, is that your real brother? Or no, that's my cousin brother. Okay, so anyway, Mother Devaki, sister of Kamsa, and a voice, some divine voice, you fool Kamsa. You're driving the chariot and the 8th child of this woman will kill you. Not exactly sure how he said it, the voice in the sky. But Kamsa believed in from either coming from the gods or from... So immediately he took his sword wanting to kill Devaki. But Vasudeva, in extreme emergency, convinced him that it's not a good idea. You're the emperor, you're the king, and this is your family member, your sister, like your daughter. You should treat her with love and affection. Anyway, don't be so attached to the body. And he gave a little philosophical explanation. Whoever's born in this world is destined to die, and this goes on forever and ever. But Kamsa was not convinced. So even though Vasudeva, he had integrity, he's very honest, upright, saintly personality. So he said, okay, at least for now, save Devaki's life. Whenever any children come, I'll put them in your hands. You take, no problem. So Kamsa thought it would be a good thing since it made sense. Right now, he's not in danger of Devaki. Maybe the children will come, they will not come. But due to bad association, even though sometimes Kamsa becomes convinced by the good logic and reason by Vasudeva, even Vasudeva brought, was it Kirtan? What was the first child? Kirtiman was the first child. And of course, he had to really control his emotions to bring his firstborn child to Kamsa because he knew what was inevitably going to happen. But Kamsa, he played like a cool demon. Nah, don't worry, I'm not in danger of the first child. You can take him home. And so, but Vasudeva didn't trust him because he was demonic. Then somehow or other, Narada Muni comes in the picture again, and he told Kamsa, listen, you know, all these Vrishnis and all these Yadus, they're all demigods. They've taken birth in these families to wipe out the demons. There's a plan to kill demons. So the demons became very alarmed. They said, okay, let's kill every child newly born in the last 10 days. Imagine how horrible. When the government is stopping the brahmanas from performing yagyas, and then all of a sudden, because Kamsa, the king, heard a voice that he's going to be killed, and Narada Muni kind of confirmed that the demigods are disguising and taking birth in all these families, and all the demons convinced Kamsa that yes, we should be given the permission to kill all the cows, because then there's no ghee for performing yagyas. Kill the brahmanas, kill all the sadhus. So this is the mentality, unfortunately, of a demonic civilization. And previously, although Rajarshi was supposed to be a saintly king, I don't know what happened 5,000 years ago, they weren't so saintly, but the idea was evang parampara praptang imang rajarshayo vidhu, that this knowledge which was given to Lord Brahma, the first created being in this universe, according to Darwin and the scientists, the first created beings were simply backward cavemen that couldn't figure things out. And they only appeared some 50,000 years, 100,000 years ago, whatever. Prior to that, human evolution did not get to the point of a human being. So this is all speculation, and basically the idea of Darwin and the scientists nobody really takes it seriously, but they have no other answer. But Tene Brahma Hrida Adikavaye Muyanti Suryaha. Krishna in the heart of Lord Brahma revealed all the Vedic knowledge, revealed the purpose and goal of life, how to achieve the highest perfection in life, meaning how to get out of the prison house of material existence, how to stop the repetition of birth and death. So this very same science is being handed down in Guru Parampara. This is why the first principle of anyone interested in making any spiritual advancement is Tad Viri Pranipatena Pariprashnena Seva Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnanas Tattvadarshana. We were hearing how Krishna and Balaram went to Sandipani Muni and Avanti, Ujjain, and they learned all the arts. And they were very submissive, very humble. Why does the Lord have to be humble to anyone? He's the guru and spiritual master of everyone. But Krishna repeatedly comes, even when he was in Dwarka, he performed worship of himself to show the grahastas how to worship God, how to perform yajna, sacrifice, how to perform activities to bring us back to our normal state of God consciousness, awaken that love for God. We're looking for happiness, but in all the wrong places, because a real happiness, eternal happiness, comes by awakening our love for God. That only comes by devotional service. No amount of austerities, sacrifice, no amount of so-called books, and unless we have devotion and love, yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. By the grace of Guru and Krishna, all the imports of the Vedas are revealed to one who is a devotee of the Lord. Bhaktya mama bijananti, only by devotional service. So this was the idea, Krishna's appearing, and so when the seventh child, when Devaki was carrying Balaram, Krishna instructed Yogamaya that you take Balaram and put him to the womb of Rohini, who's the other wife of Vasudeva. And so Yogamaya performed that very nicely. And then she was also going to take birth from Yashodama, and Krishna took birth. First of all, appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, from the mind of Vasudeva to the heart of Vasudeva, from the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki. And said Krishna was always in the womb. Krishna's everywhere. So he appeared with 4 hands, full head of hair, Kaustuba jewel, fully decorated, and looked gorgeous, just to prove that there's a Supreme Lord. He even told that previously you were Prishnigarbha from Sutapa and Prishni, and also as Vamanadev from Kashyapa, and now, for the 3rd time, as I promised, they performed great austerities and they wanted the Lord to appear. So Krishna ties everything together. Vamanadev again saved the demigods and took the, from Bali Maharaj, and I'm not really sure what Prishnigarbha did. I'm sure there's some story there, but Krishna, he's appearing again for the purpose of reestablishing religious principles. So now the 8th child, Krishna, is in the womb of Devaki. Actually, when appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, he became more brilliant than the sun. No one could even look at him. No one could approach Vasudeva because he was just so brilliant. And Kamsa knew, this is Vishnu. He's going to take birth. And even if I tried to kill him, I couldn't kill him. So then Devaki became also resiliently beautiful, gorgeous, brilliance emanating. But because she was in the prison house, the demigods were appreciating, and Kamsa was in anxiety and understood. But at the time of birth, when Krishna appeared in his 4-armed form, Vasudeva offered beautiful prayers, showing how he's the Supreme Lord. Whenever all these encounters come, someone meets the Lord, they always praise and such beautiful prayers, his ability for creating and being transcendental to everything. And also Devaki also glorified Krishna beautifully. But she was worried about Kamsa, that motherly love. she requested him become again a child so that Kamsa doesn't come and kill you. Is there an echo? You can shut the echo off? So Krishna, he arranged everything, Yogamaya, everybody fell asleep, all the prison gates opened. Vasudeva took baby Krishna, and Balaram took the form of Ananta Shesha. He was protecting because it was raining heavily. Jamuna was overflooded. We may have seen when the rains were pretty heavy, the Jamuna can get pretty flooded. But she gave way for Vasudeva and Krishna. Even Vasudeva dropped Krishna, and somehow it's a whole pastime. But anyway, ended up in Gokul. And Mother Yashoda and all the inhabitants, the Brijabasis, were all also under the sleep. So Vasudeva left Krishna on the lap of Yashoda, and Mahadevi, Yogamaya, came to the prison of Kamsa, and everything got resealed. And all the prisoners heard the baby. They brought it to Kamsa. And Kamsa was so fearful. At that last stage, he was always meditating on Krishna, that the eighth child will kill me. And so Kamsa came to smash the baby. He would take them and smash them on the ground and kill them. Just see how cruel the uncle, that's an uncle you don't want to see, coming killing all the babies. No. But again, there was a story too about they were associates of Hiranyakashipu, the Prishnigarbhas, what are they called? The six babies that were killed. This is the whole story of the Maruts. Anyway, this is an incredible pastime of the Lord's appearance, and Krishna made all the arrangements. We see how Krishna, by his potency and love for the devotees, his love for the Pandavas, his love for Vasudeva and Devaki, but then coming to the shelter of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, although Nanda Maharaj knew that Balaram was Vasudeva's son, but he didn't know that Krishna also was. So Nanda and Yashoda became the foster parents, but they had the great fortune of taking care of Krishna and Balaram in their youth as they're growing and performing their remarkable pastimes. What to speak of mother's love for the child is so intense. And fortunately, we're reading also 10th canto. In the 10th canto, we heard so many beautiful stories about Brahma Mohana Leela, and about Indra getting really upset because Krishna told all the Brijabasis not to, just to worship Govardhan, the cows in the land. This is where real wealth was. Can you imagine, just by agriculture alone, by ghee, by milk, in trading, they had jewelry, they had a beautiful clothing, nice colorful stuff, and they were all decorated in so many wonderful ways that Vasudeva in his mind gave away 10,000 cows in charity to the Brahmanas on the birth of Krishna, but Nanda Maharaj performed a yajna in giving cows which were decorated with gold and jewelry and beautiful cloth, and all the Brahmanas and all the people, all the different assistants were nicely taken care of, all from agriculturalists. You might think these are poor people living on the land, just taking care of cows, but they were fabulously wealthy. They had everything. By taking care of the cows and taking care of the agriculture, following what Krishna describes as a perfect lifestyle, then all the necessities were supplied, jewels and everything they needed. So Krishna's appearance in this material world is being celebrated all over the world by many cultures. And there are so many books and so much literature written about, just Srimad Bhagavatam alone, Bhagavad Gita, and all the great acharyas. Arjuna says, Parang Brahma, Parang Dhamma, Pavitrang, Paramangvavam, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devma, Jambibhum. He's saying Vyasa Dev, Devava, Narada, all the great rishis, they claim you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Janmad, Yasya, Yaton, Vayad, Itaratasya, Teshu, Vigyasurat. From Krishna, everything is coming, everything is emanating. And it's very detailedly, scientifically, logically explained. But one needs the interest. Otherwise, you won't see it. There was one children's game. They say you have to find somebody in a. There's all kinds of. What was that? The finding. That one children's book. There's all kinds of things going on. You have to find a certain personality within this complex drawing. So the material world is very, very complex, and according to one's desires, one follows a certain mode. Either he becomes, follows dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Some religious faith would be there, whether one is Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, Christian. These are designations. And by following the rules and regulations of Scripture, they feel they'll have good wealth, good health, and the economic, so dharma, artha, then kama. If I'm following religious principles, maybe you have to take him outside, huh? Or let him stay in. Oh, he hurt himself. Krishna, Krishna. So by following religious principles, one feels they can develop their economic development for sense gratification. And then when they realize that all the happiness of this world is not good enough, is not going to fulfill that inner desire for love for Krishna. So then they think moksha, liberation. Then there's the impersonalist philosophy that, by meditation, by yajna, by sacrifice, you realize that you're an eternal spirit soul, that everyone is an eternal spirit soul, and then when you achieve perfection, we become one. We all become one unit, no more individuality. But ours is a Chincha Beta Beta Tattva, that we're eternal spirit soul, but we're covered by the mind, we're covered by the body, the intelligence, and the false ego. Anyone have a false ego? No. The false ego is there. We think ourselves, we're very special. We're all very special people. And most people feel that their logic and way of thinking is the most practical, and everyone else is just really misdirected by their contaminated mind and intelligence. But the idea is, in order to purify the mind and purify the intelligence and get divya gyan, spiritual knowledge, we need to surrender to Guru. And the reason for surrender is that because of our pride and because of our ego, thinking that why I have to surrender to God, why do I need to bow down, or follow? I can do things on my own. It's humiliating. I have to bow down in front of somebody. But when one understands Jivara Swarupoy Krishna Nitya Das, that I'm the eternal servant of Krishna, and Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, He's the supreme controller, the supreme being. He's full of knowledge, full of bliss in eternity. We also have these qualities, just like a piece of gold is as good as the gold mine. A drop of salt water has the same content as the ocean in salt content. So we're also eternal living entities. We're not temporary, meant for disease and death. That's for the body, identification with the body. So Krishna, He appeared and spoke Bhagavad Gita. He said, I spoke the same knowledge millions of years ago to the Vivasvan, the sun god. And that was like an early edition. We had many. This has been going on. So the knowledge is available. Krishna's coming repeatedly. Sometimes the parent tirelessly puts up with the childish children who are not respectful and sometimes very defiant and could be very cruel at times to their parents. Many people just want to disown because they want to be independent and free. In the same way, we have that same mentality of independence and freedom, but we're controlled. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This material nature is controlled by Krishna. Prakrite kriyamanani guna karmani sarvashaha. And goodness, passion, and ignorance. There's all varieties because Krishna wants to give us what we want. You want goodness, you want to go to the demigods, you can go to the demigods. You can live a long life, you can have a beautiful palace, you can enjoy the things that you can't enjoy in this world maybe because of limitations of I get old and die very quickly, sleeping so much, and then have to, as a child, Prahlad Maharaj is explaining to all his class friends that, okay, you waste the first 10 years as a child, and then sporting with all the young kids. You know how the young children like to play sports. And then you have to work like a dog. You have to work really, really hard to try to get, and then you can retire at 65 when everything's falling apart. And it usually doesn't work out. Nothing works out. The material world is a place of misery and suffering. Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punar Avartano Arjuna. From the highest planet, Brahmaloka, down to the lowest, all are places of misery. But in the idea that there's some happiness, we keep trying. We just keep, don't give up. They told Kamsa, demigods are afraid of you. Vishnu can't do anything. He's in the heart of everyone. And whenever you go on the battlefield, the demigods run away. They pretend they can fight, but on the battlefield they cannot fight. So they're pumping up Kamsa that go ahead, let's go fight all these demigods. And so we might envision demons, fierce-looking people with fangs and very distorted faces, but they could be very so-called good-looking people. It depends on their behavior. But most people in this material world are demons. What is a demon? One who defies the order of God or does not surrender fully to the Lord. Who's surrendered to the Lord? Rarely we find anyone. Bahunang jamanamante gyanavan mang prapajate. After millions and billions of births and deaths from the higher planet to the lower planet and unlimited universes in every form of life, now we have a human form of life. So human form of life is special. Why? Because we have intelligence, and we're supposed to utilize our intelligence for making the ultimate solution. Isn't it? What is the ultimate solution? No more birth, no more old age, no more disease, no more death, and living a life of eternity in a loving relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world. And it's not just some mythology or some fairy tale. This makes a lot more sense than everyone going to the moon and collecting dust. So many moon missions, and they spend billions and trillions, and they often crash, and we don't know who's taking the pictures. Maybe the demigods are taking pictures of the moon missions. I don't know. How do they send them? By WhatsApp or Twitter? Somehow or other, people are enamored by scientists and politicians and the bodily concept of life. So Krishna, he, out of his kindness, Balaram, imagine Srimati Radharani's coming here, Lalita Vishaka, all the cowherd boys, all the Brijabasis come from the spiritual world. And even Sanatan, Rupa Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya's Leela. It's not that, just a few random people. Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, and all the intimate associates are Nitya Siddhas. That means they never condition in this material world. We may question, well, how is it they did this and did that? Very difficult to understand. Krishna, his janma, janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvata. If you understand the birth of Krishna and the mission of Krishna, and you try to understand the pure devotees who are living in this world, giving this transcendental knowledge, but we have this tendency to try to equate everyone on our level, that, I'm just a man or a person, I'm going to grow old and die. So how can this person be spiritual? So this is how much love Krishna has. Not only he comes, but his whole family comes to bring us back home to the spiritual world. But still we are being very neglectful and not seeing the importance of taking up this process of devotional service. So today is a very auspicious day, Janmashtami, it's in the scripture that one should celebrate Janmashtami and the holy days, especially Janmashtami, Radhastami, and Ramchandra's appearance day, and so many wonderful incarnations of the Lord, and all the pastimes are incredibly transcendental. But those professors and so-called leaders, scientists, they say, no, it's all mythology, the Greek gods, and the god of the wind, the god of the lightning, and this and that. These are primitive, uneducated people who are making up these grand ideas of gods. But obviously not everything is, how can everything function so smoothly? Planets are rotating in space, the sunshine is providing enough heat. If it's a few degrees too hot or too cold, we complain. God, Krishna doesn't know how to control things from 93 million miles away. Why has he got the sun, beaming in so much? He should, fine-tune it. Who's providing the rainfall, the variety of vegetative growth, all the fruits and flowers and all the necessities of mankind profusely? The water, the oceans, the clouds, the evaporation, the rain, the agriculture. Can they create grains to eat? How will the animals eat? How's the grass growing? So someone who's a little bit logical and reasonable will understand there's somebody in control here. It's not like it's just happening by chance. By chance, I got a pair of eyes, a nose, a mouth, teeth, and ears, and I can hear, I can see, I can smell, and I can feel, and every single bone and every nerve and everything is connected so expertly. They can't even produce an ant. Give you an egg, here, produce a chicken at least, No, nothing in the future will do it. We're getting close. We're splitting those atoms. But Krishna is the atom. So it's so wonderful to feel guided that my father, Srila Prabhupada, or the spiritual master, is guiding us so that we can get free of this whole... Imagine if you're in a horrible nightmare and the demons are ready to devour you, and someone wakes you up and you think, oh, thank you, and then you even forget about that nightmare. So we're living our lives in this world. We think this one life is everything. I don't know what happened in the past. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. What's important to me now is immediate gratification, pravriti and nivriti. So it's like the child doesn't want to go to school, doesn't want to learn anything because he just wants to play and enjoy life. But very quickly that enjoyment is gone as he grows and has responsibilities and sees that I have no education and now I have to suffer even more. So although we may, just like a patient who has a chronic or serious disease, doctor gives good medicine, that medicine is what? Harikatha, Harinam Sankirtan. There are various processes for getting free of the illusion in the past. Yagyas, sacrifices. In this age, Kali Kalir Dharma Krishna Nam Sankirtan. This is another Janmashtami, birth of Lord Krishna, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. And Golokir Premadan Harinam Sankirtan. So he's giving medicine, he's giving the formula, Krishna, and he's sending the guru. The spiritual master is non-different than Krishna in the sense that he simply repeats Krishna's words. He's carrying the message of Godhead, just like Narada Muni, and all the great acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada, they're all very anxious to help all the conditioned souls get free of suffering. Paradukha Dukhi. They have a great compassion and love. You find someone who's very compassionate, loving, caring for his family, for his nation, or for humanity. You think, oh, this is a good person, very good person. He cares for the animals, he cares for the birds, he cares for the, the environment, especially takes good care of his family. So a devotee, he has these beautiful qualities of tolerance, Titikshava Karunika, very merciful. He's friend to every living entity. The Goswamis had everything. They had great positions, fabulous wealth, big association in the aristocracy in the field of politics and or leadership of a nation. But they gave everything up. For what purpose? To scrutinizingly study all the revealed scriptures, although they are Nityasiddha. They have that, but they're showing by their example that one should study the Vedic literature and take guidance. And they were friends to everyone. And the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, they were personal disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who instructed them personally, as Krishna instructed Arjuna, as he instructed Uddhava, as he instructed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many divine lessons are there. And the more we're attracted to Krishna Katha, that means the symptoms of our disease are starting to loosen. If you're not attracted to hearing about Krishna and Krishna's pastimes, reading Krishna book, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or keeping association with devotees, because devotees, what do? They chant about Krishna, they talk about Krishna, they sing and dance about Krishna, they take prasad together. And if you think, I'm going to live on my own, I don't like devotees, I don't like organized religion, you're in luck. We're not organized. We're disorganized. So you're safe here, okay? We're not organized religion. But what is important is to choose good association, because if you have bad association, like Kamsa, he was going in a good direction, but immediately talked to his counselors and ministers and other demonic friends, and first thing they told him, kill them all, kill the cows, kill the sadhus, kill the brahmins, and this way you'll kill Vishnu. Give us permission. We're following you. We're sold out to you. And demonic mentality is one against God consciousness. And if we may not have a taste, or we may not be experiencing hair standing on end and shivering and tears in the eyes or ecstatic emotions, but keep following the prescription by Srila Prabhupada. Every morning during Guru Vastakam prayers, we pray to the Lord about kirtan, always doing kirtan, worshiping the deities in the association of devotees. And this is the real life. Don't get sentimental and start thinking, but the mind is very tricky. Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya dharatyaya. That this energy of Krishna is difficult to overcome. And it's not that why does Krishna send this Maya? No. Maya is there because we want to enjoy, we want to be separate from Krishna. We think, no, I want Krishna. So there's a process. If we really want Krishna, the process is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavedanam. And this is the prayer that Prahlad Maharaj told Hiranyakashipu, all his class friends, that simply by hearing and chanting and remembering and serving the lotus feet, full of surrender to the Lord, then this is the perfection of life. Not punascharvita charvananam, again and again, chewing that which has already been chewed. How many ways are we going to have the so-called enjoyments of this material world, which are temporary and miserable? But if one gets that parang drishtva nivartate, you know what that means? Parang drishtva, that higher taste. This higher taste of spiritual life will give us much more happiness, much more satisfaction, so that we can continue making more and more progress. And very, very quickly, this life is passing, so better use every moment in Krishna's service. And the best mantra to chant is the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a beautiful mantra, glorifying the Lord. It's transcendental, and it cleanses the heart, it cleanses the mind, and Krishna will reveal himself. Krishna will reveal himself to you by that devotion and surrender. Shri Krishna Janmastami ki. So all of you are very fortunate. You get to hear now from Dinabandhu Prabhu. And he loves glorifying Krishna on Janmastami Day, so we'll ask him to come and to speak. Hare Krishna.